Hey everybody, welcome to Church Communications. I'm so glad that you could join us today. I am really excited because we're joined with Julian, who is from Soundstripe. Julian, I am so glad you could join us today.
Likewise, I'm really happy to be here and talk about what we offer and what we can, do to potentially help some of our church communicators.
Yeah, so what I love about Soundstripe's actually been a partner of Church Communications for a while. I actually met Chris, who I know no longer works with Soundstripe, but I met him. He was part of a conference that we did, gosh, right at the beginning when we first started our community, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And we've just kept in touch ever since. And so I love what Soundstripe is. I love what it does. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But before we jump into that, I want to get to know Julian as a human being. So,
Yeah,
Julian, can you tell the people and tell me what you do and who you are?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I've been in the social media marketing space for about 5 or 6 years now. Before I was with Soundstripe, I was actually at a nonprofit, and then in addition to that, I was fortunate enough to be able to help with a lot of social media efforts for a local organization. They're called Mercy Multiplied,
Yeah.
and they're a phenomenal, organization here in Nashville, a Christian organization that really their aim is to sort of reach women who just have a lot of baggage, who are working through a lot and who are seeking freedom in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been really cool. I'm actually no longer serving with them. I just got to be a little bit too busy with my job, my full-time job. But it was really cool, being in that space and seeing where all of the different things that I do for Soundstripe and how all of those initiatives intersected with a lot of what I was doing with Mercy Multiplied.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's really cool, really serendipitous that that I was the one tapped for this talk because my wife and I we live in Nashville. We're very involved in our church. We're members there. We have 4 kiddos, and um, and so yeah, so I feel really fortunate to be able to talk a little bit about Soundstripe, what I do at the company, and like I said at the top, how we can potentially provide a resource to church communicators.
Yeah. So you actually mentioned I sent Julian an email beforehand with the questions, and you mentioned that you're a YA author, and so I kind of want to know a little bit about that
Yeah.
personally.
So
Yeah.
sure.
Go ahead.
So so once upon a time, before I started working in the digital marketing space and the social media marketing space, um, I self-published YA books. It's my favorite genre to read, and
Mine too.
oh, it's great,
Oh my
right?
gosh. So I'm feeling like very much connected to you now.
Listen, listen, when you're in Nashville, we should get coffee and just talk about creative.
Okay. Great. Let's do that. That's
Yeah,
our new plan now.
let's make it happen. Well, long story short, as I started getting busier and busier with my full-time job, priorities kind of shifted, and my creative writing had sort of gone dormant for a couple of years. And then randomly, I had a friend who started working at a HarperCollins nonfiction imprint here in Nashville, and she said, "Hey, I'm going to start brushing shoulders with a lot of the fiction folks. Can I pass on one of your manuscripts?" And I was like, "Yes, you don't have to ask for my permission.
Right.
That'd be amazing." So anyway, after being in discussion with some of their acquisition folks for the better part of 2020, I mean, truly, we were going back and forth over email for 9 or 10 months.
Yeah.
Basically, what ended up happening was they liked my stuff. They didn't want to re-release what I had already published.
Right.
So they asked me to pitch to them a new concept for a new series, and I was fortunate enough for them to be excited about it. And um, I'm now officially under contract, and I have my first book out with them in 2022. So
Congrats.
thank you so much.
I can't wait till I read it. I'm gonna go read your other stuff now.
Please do. Yeah, I really appreciate that. You know what's interesting about long form creative writing like that is, and I never intended it to be this way. I think that this is truly a testament to the doors that God opened and kind of where He's placed me
Hmm.
along my journey. But a lot of what I do, in creative writing and in that space informs a lot of what I do in the social media marketing space
Right.
because good marketing is good storytelling. I
Yep.
mean, so many people. The Blue Like Jazz author Donald Miller, he's got
Yeah.
sort of a brand around that. you know?
Right. Yeah. I'm a certified story brand guide. So yeah.
Go. And so it's just been really cool to see how my love and affinity for creative writing
Yep.
has, you know, sort of played nicely into, the social media marketing space and everything that I get to do for Soundstripe.
That's awesome. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about Soundstripe, going back to Soundstripe. Okay, tell us about Soundstripe in general. Like, who is Soundstripe? What do they do?
Yeah. So Soundstripe is a relatively young company. We've been around for about 6 or 7 years now, and it was created by musicians, created by artists, with the intent of providing high quality, radio quality music at an affordable price to filmmakers, to agencies, really to all kinds of creatives, to YouTubers, and of course, people who are in the church communicator space as well. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. We offer high quality, radio quality, uh, you know royalty free music. And one of the things that we're afforded the luxury of is, of course, being located in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee. So the resources, the recordings, the historic recording studios that are around town, just the producers and the mix engineers, and we really feel like we're in a position where we can offer quality over quantity to a lot
Right.
of our members. So yeah, so that's us in a nutshell. And up until about a year ago, we only offered royalty-free music to creators. I'm happy to report that we now also offer sound effects and stock video.
Yeah, that was my next question. I want
Yeah.
to know more about the sound effects and the stock video.
Well, it's so funny. The co-founders of Soundstripe often tell the story of, like, when they started Soundstripe, the goal was to always sort of have this focus on royalty-free music and really be an authority in the music licensing space.
Right.
And they almost, one of our co-founders even jokes, like, he said, I swore we would never do stock video. We weren't
Right.
that company that expanded, and we were just music was going to be our thing.
Right.
But more and more as the company's grown, as we've continued to scale, we have sort of found that there's a really big need out there for creators to have access to quality content, not just music.
Right.
And so we've kind of taken it upon ourselves to really strive to be a one-stop stock for creators. So a one-stop destination for music, sound effects, and now stock video as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you can find music, you can find sound effects, you can find video. What are some different ways that churches are using Soundstripe today?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So practically the biggest use case that we saw, and really this sort of took off in 2020 once everybody sort of went into quarantine, and churches had to pivot and start broadcasting their sermons and their church services online. Really just using our church-specific music playlists and our custom music playlists that creators can create for themselves,
right,
as background music for that sort of before and after transitional time before the sermon.
Mm-hmm.
And then additionally, churches who have midweek Bible studies, for breakout sessions, you can play our music during those times where there's moments of reflection and discussion, and you can do all of that with a peace of mind. And then of course, we've seen a lot of churches using our music for mission trip recap videos for their that they show to their service, or that they broadcast during their services.
Right.
We've seen a lot of youth groups use them for their youth group videos. But really, the biggest use case that we have seen is church communicators using our music, using our stock video on their social media channels for all of their social content. So everything from creating motion graphics packages to plug new programming, licensing our music for that, plugging, youth retreats, men and women's retreats,
Right.
really anything and everything that you can think of on the social media content front. Soundstripe has made using music, licensing music easy, because the other thing I'll say to that is this is where the peace of mind comes in. when you license one of our songs for your videos, it's
Hmm.
licensed in perpetuity. So down the road, if if you find that you have to cancel a subscription with Soundstripe, that
Right.
particular video, that particular piece of social content is protected.
Right.
It was
Which is great.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So creators don't have to worry about getting flagged for something if,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, they need to end their subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that Soundstripe obviously has grown a lot since we first had our beginning of our relationship to now. Okay, so what are some new product features that make Soundstripe exciting today?
So there's a lot of stuff that we're updating to our site, to our catalog, at some point, as frequently as weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when you posed this question to me and I started thinking about it, I distilled it down to really three big things that I think the creators in the church communication space will find relevant. The first thing is similar songs.
Yep.
This was a really big ask from a lot of our members for a while now. And
Yeah.
basically the feature is, I mean, it is what it sounds like. It's with the literal click of a button, you can find a song in our catalog and then click the similar songs button and we'll show you five similar sounding songs to that track.
Oh wow.
Yes, and it uses advanced, AI. It's using all kinds of metadata. It's using all kinds of keywords and filters to do that. But literally, with the click of a button, you're finding five songs that
That's really
sound, similar to the one that you've selected. And we're hearing a lot of great things about this update. Editors and creators are telling us that it's saving them, all kinds of time in their editing process. Um, so that's great. And on the topic of songs, another great addition that we just rolled out is we're trying to be a lot more intentional with the diversity in our catalog. And so we actually have some really, really awesome eclectic hymnal music.
yeah.
One of my favorite Soundstripe artists, Marie. It's a really stripped down like cello, and it's a legit cello,
Yeah.
not just like a plugin. And so we have like Greatest Thy Faithfulness that's in our catalog, a rendition of that, all kinds of really amazing grace, just beautiful renditions of those classic hymns.
That's awesome.
Um, and additionally, we just released either this week or last week some gospel music now. So we have this
Wow.
this incredible Soundstripe moniker in our catalog now. They
Yeah.
go they go by Antioch Mass Choir, and
Okay.
it is a all black choir
Are they in
that
Nashville? Are they
they
actually in Antioch?
yes, yeah, they are, yeah. And
All right.
it's awesome. It's an all black
I
choir.
love this because too, they're getting paid for it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Isn't that great?
it's great. It's an
It's like a
incredible.
win-win for a
It
church.
is.
So like also churches, if you want to create some music,
There you go. Yeah,
then you
let's
can
talk.
for
Let's,
Soundstripe.
let's talk.
Yeah.
But that was great because that had been a need that we had seen for a long time, like
Right. Yeah,
specifically.
I'm sure like choir
Yeah,
backgrounds, even
yeah,
if it's just like vocal,
yeah.
like noises, not even like, what I'm saying? Like not even just some oohs and ahs would be great.
Oh,
Like because
for sure.
they don't have them.
And to that, and you bring up a good point, Katie. All of our music comes with stem audio files. So basically what that means is it gives the creator a lot of versatility with those tracks. So if you license a song, you are then given the layers
That's
to that
awesome.
song, high quality layers. So you can sort of, strip
Do
stuff
what you want.
out. If you want to, take vocals out here, add them there, like gives our
Yeah,
creators a lot of control and flexibility.
that's really
Uh,
awesome.
and then the last thing I'll touch on real quick is because our sound effects library is growing every week, we decided like, man, it would probably behoove us to really consolidate and start
Yeah.
creating sound effect playlists. So now when creators head to our site, not only do you have music and stock video playlists, but you have sound effects playlists as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Again, is all, sort of working toward that end goal of making the user experience the best that it can possibly be, and so that we can save all of you all as much time as possible for when you're creating. So
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to get the people connected to Soundstripe.
Yeah.
I know that you can go to churchcommunications.com/Soundstripe, and that's one way to connect. The music and sound effects library, we actually have a special exclusive discount. It is 25% off, which I think is wild and extremely generous of you. Like, we only partner with people who bring like radical value to our community. And to me, I'm like 25% off music and sound effects at Soundstripe is like really generous.
Oh,
And so
we're
thank
great.
you for doing that,
Oh,
Julie.
we're grateful for the opportunity to be able to serve this, this this type of creator, this need. So honestly, we're grateful for the opportunity too. So
Okay, so if you want to do that, churchcommunications.com/soundstripe, make sure you select the music and sound effects. There's 3 different tiers: music only, music and sound effects, music, sound effects, and video. I mean, we would love it if you go all the way, but this code is only for music and sound effects, the middle tier, which is what most people choose anyway. And then maybe you want to venture into video or something later. But the music and sound effects, 25% off. The code is ChurchComm21, all together, all capitalized. ChurchComm, COMM, 2 M's, 21. And I'll be sure to write that down here on the screen as well. But
awesome.
Julian, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. Last thing I'll plug real quick, a great resource for you guys if you're interested. We are getting into a practice of posting more regularly on our YouTube channel, and we
Great.
currently have a new series that we rolled out called Filmmaker Tips and Tricks, where we're just tackling different components of the filmmaking and creative process. So look us up on YouTube, subscribe to our channel if you're interested in seeing more of that content for sure.
That's just Soundstripe on YouTube, correct?
Yeah, just search Soundstripe,
Okay.
hit that subscribe button, hit that
Great.
notifications button so you can get alerted.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out today, Julian. I appreciate it.